welcome to Friendship and Joy with me, Karen. Today I have finished my Trouville sweater. So like with everything in life, nothing ever turns out the way you plan it. Isn't that always the case? So my Trouville sweater, first of all, I knew it was going to be overly big because my yarn was thicker than what the pattern called for. So I started first to knit the sleeves, and look at that, it turned out quite lovely. I actually really liked the way the colors came together, and I could tell when I knitted the sleeve that, oof, this is going to be way too big. But I started to knit the body, and I'm thinking, oh great, I'm not going to have enough yarn to finish. And I didn't want to buy any more yarn because I wanted to use up all my the yarn stash that I had. But I was thinking, okay, let me see how far I get. And I got to about here, and I thought, okay, at some point I'm gonna have to try to figure out what yarn this was, and I'm gonna have to see if I can find it in the same colors so I can at least continue and finish. Just get one little ball of yarn so I can finish the sweater. And then my daughter came home from university. She's here visiting, and she said, oh Mom, what are you knitting? I love it. Who is that for? And I said, it's for me. And she goes, can I have it? And I said, well, it's a size large. It's way too big for you. And she said, no, but I love it. Can't you just sort of cinch it in at the bottom, and then I'll have it like a balloon top. I love the fact that for her, she thought these were balloon sleeves because, you know, they're so wide. And she said, why don't you just make it like a balloon crop top? So that's what I ended up doing. So this sweater turned out to be for her instead. And on me, it would look ridiculous. On her, it looks really, really good. So anyways, so I'm gonna hold this up so you can see what the yoke looks like. A lot of fun. So a few little points on making this Trouville sweater. I've learned that I absolutely 100% suck at making baubles. No matter how I try, the baubles don't stay on the front. I try to tighten them up as tight as I can, and they still want to just move on back. So my baubles at the neck edge do not look, I'm gonna see if I can come closer, it's white yarn. They look more like a picot edge as opposed to baubles. So instead of even bother making them at the bottom, I did not make the baubles at the sleeves. I made a picot bind off instead. Can you see that? It's hard with white yarn. I'm coming up as close as possible. I made a little fringe edge like the picot bind off. And my daughter, who saw it, she also wanted it at the bottom, on the rib part at the bottom there. So yeah, I have tried different methods of making the baubles. I've looked on YouTube tutorials, and I think because it's right at the edge, maybe it doesn't hold for me. I have made baubles in the past on a blanket where they do stay on the front side, but I think because this is right at the edge, it's very hard to get them to stay. If you have a tip, let me know, because I do not have the ability to make mine stay on the front side. So having finished this for her, I did end up buying yarn to make another one. So much for using up stash. I mean, this was great for the little balls of yarn that I had left. So now I have bought yarn, and I found it's Cascade yarn, Heritage, 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. It's super soft, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And I'm gonna hold up a few because I wound these up on my little yarn winder. Hold up some of these lovely, lovely colors. So now I make sure I have enough to finish, and this is also the right thickness. It's the thinner, so I know that if I make a size large, it's not gonna be oversized, it's gonna be more true to what the pattern calls for, and I will have enough to make the proper longer body. And of course I've already cast on, And so far, again, the baubles turned out to look like crap. I'm gonna pretend it's some type of picot edge. And this is what it looks like so far. So this, I will have not the navy stripes, but I'm going to have the white and orange stripes in the body for this one. And this one will be for me. No matter who comes home and claims it, I'm gonna make this one for me so I have something cozy to wear. And I will do the picot, I think, at the wrist, but I'm gonna leave it plain at the ribbing at the bottom, I think, because I'm not gonna have it. It's gonna be just like a normal style sweater for me. There was a couple of things in this pattern that I thought was a little odd. I have to question everything. That's just who I am. At the very top, when you begin this pattern, and when you add on your orange, I've got to move forward. I'm sitting too far away. When you add the orange, the pattern calls for one more row with the orange here in the pattern in the ribbed part. So knit 2, purl 2, and that creates that little kind of white pearl bump into the orange, which I think look a little messy, and I'm wondering why would she do that? Why not just switch it? So on this particular one, when I added my orange, I just made it plain instead. I did my ribbed part, and then here I just started to knit. I think that looks a little neater. Don't understand the purpose of that, quite frankly. And some of the pattern, I also question a little bit, like why has she designed it this way? But I mean, that's just it. It's her design. She can do whatever she wants, and I can modify if I want. So I think it looks better to not have that little pearl bump. The pattern in itself was very well written. I thought it was easy to follow, easy to understand. And in each size has its own color diagram, which was very nice. That way you don't have to like follow through, where do I start? You just go to your size and then you do the pattern as it is written for you, which I thought was very helpful. And of course, if you print this out, you don't have to print out all the different sizes. You can just pick and choose your size that you want to print out. So that was very smart, I thought. Another note about the pattern. Yes, so when you come down all up here, easy, 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 easy. And then when you come down here, you have a few longer stretches in the pattern. So there are, since I like to catch the floats every 3 stitches, there is a lot of that going on in this section here. And this is how I do it. This is how I catch the float. I knit continental style. So as you can see, I hold both colors on my left hand, and I make sure the background color is on the outer tip of my finger. So when it comes to knitting a longer series of stretch, I will be able to catch the float, meaning I will trap the blue yarn behind the red. So I knit 2 stitches, and now I will go underneath the blue yarn, pick up the red, and the next stitch I will go over the blue yarn, and that way I have snagged it on the back side. So I never have any longer floats than tops 3 stitches. This is what it looks like when you catch the floats every 3 stitches or so. You don't get any long floats anywhere. So here is one more look at the Trouville sweater, all finished. It was a fun knit. I can highly recommend it. You can find the pattern on Ravelry. It is a paid pattern, so you don't have to pay for it and download it. But like I always say, good design is worth paying for. So give it a try. That is it for today. Until next time, take care. Bye. There we are. I always look in the wrong spot. Trouville, Trouville, tro som du vill. Okay. I shouldn't have allergies now. How did you get all the way over there? Let me see. Can I do this somehow? Okay.